I'm fishing today in a private lake, whatever you want to call it. You know, we spend a lot of time on this channel on rivers and streams, and for very good reason, because that is where a lot of the diversity in black bass occurs. But it would probably be remiss to not spend some time talking about other aquatic systems that we fish, and one of the most obvious ones is a small impoundment, whether it's private or not. Odds are very strong that most of us got our start in fishing in places very much like this, and usually for bass or brim or maybe crappie. And they're just a wonderful resource. A lot of states have publicly owned small impoundments. They have a regular program. The one in Alabama is called the Alabama State Fishing Lakes Program. The one in Georgia is Public Fishing Areas, PFAs. But most states do have them. In the state that I grew up in New Jersey, they may have had something like that. I'm not 100% sure, and they might now that they didn't back 40 years ago. But what New Jersey does have is just an astounding array of publicly available impoundments, anywhere from 10 to 60 acres. A lot of them are associated with municipalities, town lakes or whatever, and some of the greatest fishing you could possibly imagine, at least in terms of catching fish. Maybe not biggest fish. When you get up north, you don't catch a lot of really big fish often, but man, given that it's public water, you are rarely, if ever, coming out of those places without catching 6 or 7 fish in an afternoon, which is pretty impressive for public water, and that would be pretty close to year round. But yes, public or private, small impoundments are really a wonderful place, wonderful resource to fish in. Usually you have pretty high catch rates here, and they can be really quite pretty, like this one is. That's something that maybe we often neglect. I look at these places as refuges from wet years when a lot of the rivers and streams are hard to fish, or perhaps refuges during strong weather events like a hurricane or a giant front that comes through and dumps 6 or 8 inches of rain over a large area and blows all your rivers and streams out. Having a place like this to come and at least be able to go fishing is just priceless. I have lived in places where the main fishing is only a river, and when you have the river gets blown out for a month, you're pretty much out of luck. These are places that sometimes I think we often neglect, and we probably shouldn't.